All right, all right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game between Sock versus Foggy. This game taking place here on Tide Hunters, as Sock has spawned as what I will call the red human over here at the 10 o'clock position. Red, just because it's the color red. Me and human because he's human. No, not even quite sure why I introduced it the way I did. I'm currently just trying to get my mind off of things that are happening in my home and just trying to process a lot of feelings. Yeah. Um, hmm, I don't know. Should I do a little bit of a therapy session here, right now? Um, no, no. This is no. I don't want this to be recorded forever and ever, and perhaps ruin the video. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down. Ancient of War, Altar of Elders, Moonwell being placed down here by Foggy, who has spawned as the blue Night Elf at what I'll call the 4 o'clock position. And this is Tide Hunters. I guess I would say a brother or sister map to Turtle Rock. Tide Hunters, if Turtle Rock looks like a turtle when it's just standing still, Tide Hunters, in my mind, resembles a turtle that's in the middle of swimming, right? Like, you can see the head off over here. Then its two arms are like trying to push back, and the legs are like streamlined here. So, yeah, I'll call this the brother or sister map of Turtle Rock, as the Keeper of the Grove will be the hero of choice coming in from Foggy. Foggy opening up with Keeper of the Grove, a very standard tactic as of late, as the Keeper of the Grove is a very strong tactical hero, and then depending on the situation at level 3, both Entangle at level 2 or summoning Force of Nature, being able to summon those treants, both are very, very powerful depending on what your opponent goes for. A highly adaptable hero. Meanwhile, he's going up against Sock here, who has now brought out a bunch of militia. Archmage is now out and about. We'll see if that Sea Giant does a spin. No, he does not. Not doing that nasty AoE damage that human players often, fear when they call over their militia. All right, Ring of Protection +3, the item for Sock. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove has picked up Gloves apace. He's going to be attacking slightly faster. Now, what is going to be going down here? Well, Footman trying to make sure, see what exactly is happening here. Foggy could get up to level 2 pretty quickly, and then just throw down a quick entangle on this Footman. However, the Archer is now being forced to retreat back, going to be forced to heal back up. Ring of Protection +3 dropped here. Archmage now finishing off the remainder of this creep camp. And, well, Archmage wearing Rings of Bling, already up to 9 armor, but I'm pretty sure those items will just be sold. Rings of Protection +3 do give hit points. Effective hit points overall, could be very, very effective, but they're generally better on higher on strength-based heroes. That is my finding, as generally strength-based heroes don't always have a high dexterity, and their survivability is based on their strength. Once you add in the Rings of Protection +3, especially on a hero such as the Alchemist, you're able to overcome its low armor with those Rings of Protection and effectively give it a large amount of hit points that is difficult to overcome. Keeper of the Grove opting to try and put pressure here. Treants are all in position here, trying to wander back and forth. A peasant now trying to make its way away from those forces of nature, as the Keeper of the Grove looks like it will be able to finish it off there. Nope. Denial, as Sock makes sure that the Keeper of the Grove doesn't gain any additional experience. During this time, Foggy is setting up an expansion of his own, and that looks like it will be completed momentarily. But because Sock is speed building this town hall, well, he's going to end up coming out on top as well. All right, last hit right there. Keeper of the Grove giving a little bit of additional experience to the Archmage off of those kills there, as the Keeper of the Grove of Foggy sells his Scroll of Town Portal to pick up a Staff of Teleportation and Boots of Speed. Interesting call there, as Foggy is really playing this army as though the Keeper of the Grove is mainly there for harassment, while the Treants and the Archers are able to still put in pressure. Foggy seems to be pretty much everywhere on the map at the same time, as the Keeper of the Grove now makes its way off to the north. Arcane Tower not yet done, about 75% done. Keeper of the Grove perhaps going to try and test the waters here, as the Keeper of the Grove gets up to level 3. Level 3 going to turn into level 2 Entangle, and this Footman may not be long for this world, as it's slowly going to get choked possibly to death. Footman down to 43 hit points, 23, 24. Their final shot right there, not wanting to give the bonus experience. Tree of Life has been completed for Foggy. A little bit of additional time to try and entangle that gold mine. Meanwhile, the human expansion, remember, it was set up much more quickly, but it did cost additional gold. Sock needs to hold onto this expansion to really make it worth it. Otherwise, all of that bonus gold that was being spent to build that arcane tower and speed build that town hall will come to an end. All right, a quick reveal right there, trying to get the archers away once more. There is a dust of appearance on those archers as they're now looking to back away. Meanwhile, archers are trying to retreat back from a group of footmen here as the Keeper of the Grove, coming up from behind, may be able to get off a couple of entangles and try and shut down those units. All right, one footman gonna go ahead and gonna get entangled and get shut down. Keeper of the Grove has enough mana for another entangle, could go after that another leading footman indeed pretty easily, as the Keeper of the Grove is just trying to poke away at that footman there. Footman down to 51 hit points, couple of easy shots. Meanwhile, adding in a Goblin Alchemist, as we should be looking at an entangle on a different footman. All right, there's an entangle on a different footman there. There's one shot off there as the Keeper of the Grove catches up with those boots of speed, really paying for itself, as the Keeper of the Grove will need one more shot to take down that footman. Is it going to get denied? No, it is not. How about this footman here? Sock. Is it going to be enough? One more. Nope. Down to 11 hit points. That footman ends up staying alive ever so barely, as we see the Goblin Tinker now trying to put in pressure. All right, Clockwork Goblin's going to be exploding into position here. They're trying to rally off over there. Not going to work out well. Meanwhile, another entangle comes across here as the Keeper of the Grove finally low on mana. Pocket Factory now getting shut down here. Foggy trying to punish this expansion as the low hit point footman down to 17 hit points, able to retreat back home, and it looks like it will be able to get a scroll of regeneration in just a little bit. 36 supply compared to 32. More footmen now joining in on the battle. Coming back down to the south, Staff of Teleportation as the Keeper of the Grove quickly gets a refresh, recharge, full, or nearly full on mana, and now ready to move on out once more. All right, Foggy is really looking to put in more pressure here. Goblin Tinker, where is an entangle? There is an entangle onto that footman right there. That footman could end up getting taken down. I believe you need 2 auto attacks on a full health footman, or is it 3 auto attacks on a full health footman to try and take it down with the last remaining bit of entangle down to 12 hit points. And no, it escapes as well. So 11, 12 hit points, not quite enough. That footman is still alive and trying to run back into the fray. That is not going to be a good choice for him as he quickly gets taken out. Meanwhile, a 17 hit point footman, he does get taken down. And now with entangle onto the rifleman, Foggy is going to benefit even more, taking down relatively higher supply units that have only 525 hit points. All right, units trying to retreat back once more. Tinker trying to, fall back as well. 1.3, we are looking at similar levels on their primary heroes. Secondary heroes, no secondary hero as of yet for Sock, as his tech to tier 2 is now done, and now training up a Blood Mage. Blood Mage has been the common go-to hero for human players as of late, shutting down the Keeper of the Grove's play as much as possible. Water Elemental coming across here, trying to get some damage off onto this Ancient of War, and this Ancient of War could possibly get taken down by all of these creeps. Archmage now trying to make its way back over. Clockwork Goblins are down. Water Elemental unable to get in any additional damage. Foggy could have a little bit of trouble as this Ancient of War is trying to absorb damage, and absorbing damage he is, but he could end up getting taken out, and the remainder of the creep camps coming back across. Sock doing a great job, siphon mana, and now a Keeper of the Grove finally out of mana here. We could see some more siphon mana back into the Archmage to get in more level 2 Water Elementals, as we see another denial on those Riflemen there. 46 supply compared to 44. Army size, Sock significantly larger in terms of army size. No, I take it back. 27 supply compared to 29. Additional units must be trained. And there it is, 8 supply of bears back at home as Tree of Eternity is already completed. All right, siphon mana once more, trying to finish off these snappers and these giant sea turtles. These units do have medium armor, making Rifle Caster not the proper units to try and counter these particular creep camps. 52 supply compared to 52. Archmage now sits at level 4, level 2 Brilliance Aura, indeed, to try and give more mana to these priests as the water elementals now making their way forward as well. Blood Mage could easily get to level 2, does have Siphon Mana to get into position properly. Water Elemental is right there. Ogre Magi should get Siphon Mana away. Not quite sure why the Blood Mage isn't doing exactly that. Trying to get mana from that Ogre Magi would have made a lot of sense. Level 2 now on that Blood Mage, as that Blood Mage could have funneled more mana to that Archmage indeed. Scroll of the Beast left behind here, as the water elementals are absorbing quite a bit of damage. Reef elemental is going to get taken down, and here we have level 4, level 2 going up against level 4, level 2. Bears are in mastery mode. Bears in that front line position to absorb quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, well, we do have True Shot Aura for these Dryads. Dryads getting ensnared a bit. Could end up losing a Dryad here if he's not very careful, taking quite a bit of damage and now trying to retreat back. Well, was that a Tome of Retraining? It was a Tome of Retraining. All right, so a Tome of Retraining on the Goblin Tinker by Foggy to get Cluster Rockets and that possible stun. Flame Strike coming down, but not going to really be doing that much damage. Looking for the Cluster Rockets. No Cluster Rockets as of yet, as the Blood Mage quickly siphoning mana away from that Goblin Tinker. Keeper of the Grove, Goblin Tinker, both of them are low on mana. Rejuvenation on a low hit point. Druid of the Claw, as towers are now being set up by Sock, forcing an engagement. And here with those towers, as we see a Flame Strike go down, a little bit more of a zoning effect than anything else, forcing the Bears to move forward, even though they possibly do not want to. Trying to back up a little bit more. Staff of Preservation saves a low hit point Bear, but I believe the cooldown is going to be too much as Foggy loses a Bear there. 48 supply compared to 67. It looks as Sock is in the driver's seat and continuing to drive this battle here, but there is a low hit point Archmage. And, well, there's the Cluster Rockets, but the Archmage had already used a Scroll of Healing. Will be able to stick around and stay alive a little bit longer. All right, Goblin Tinker down to 236 hit points. It's going to be forced to retreat back. Dryads trying to use that slow poison rejuvenation onto the Goblin Tinker. Is Foggy going to be able to hold onto this as the guard towers, arcane towers, could be coming online momentarily. Wisp coming off of the gold mine to try and get a little bit of detonation off, or the tree line here. Bears now going to try to engage. Low hit point Rifleman trying to retreat back, as those Bears, with their normal damage, do deal large amounts of damage indeed. Arcane Tower already online here. Keeper of the Grove losing mana at a fast rate. Now Goblin Tinker and or Bear could be losing that mana at a fast rate as well. And now Sock is completely in the driver's seat of this game. He will dictate whether or not he wins or loses if he's able to punish his opponent. Foggy looking for a leg to stand on, but it does not look like he has a leg to stand on this at this stage. Sock able to get up to 77 supply. He almost has almost even in terms of hero level now, or even in terms of hero level, has the supply advantage, has the tech advantage, it seems. Actually, no tech advantage, only riflemen and casters, but this was a beautiful timing push trying to stay at tier 2. Meanwhile, we see that Foggy had pushed all the way to tier 3. All of that additional, resources and investment hadn't really paid off just quite yet. Now, Sock knows that he is in the driver's seat of this game. He knows that he doesn't need to push. And now Foggy, if he wants to do anything, will have to bring the fight to him. During this time, Sock is opting to go for the Granite Golem Creep Camp. Are we going to perhaps see a major Creep Jack here? Keeper of the Grove, Goblin Tinker now leading the charge here. Keeper of the Grove is here as well. There is a decent amount of Bears, but there's not that much gold in the bank to try and train up a third hero or any additional units. Blood Mage picks up a Hood of Cunning with Agility and Intelligence and is ready to move on out. 77 supply compared to even 50. 14 gold a second compared to 10. Where are these units going to try to go off to next? Bear is going straight after the Blacksmith here, but a forced engagement. Scroll of Town Portal, as we're going to look at the Archmage and Blood Mage retreating all the way back here. There's some big damage. There's a Flame Strike. There's some damage across multiple units. Water Elemental quickly getting pushed into oblivion. I don't know if that was denied by the Flame Strike or killed by Foggy, as we see a Pocket Factory or Cluster Rockets come in for some damage. Follow-up Flame Strike right there. Rifleman trying to get in some damage again. No raking damage across all of these Bears, as we are still seeing more damage in that front line spot. Bears continuing to deal damage onto the Spellbreakers. 43 supply compared to 68. Foggy trying to do everything he can to get back into this fight here. As Foggy is now down to 43 supply compared to 65, able to make up some of that discrepancy. And now there's only a 22 supply difference as opposed to what was close to a 30 supply difference. Another Bear getting taken down, though, and that's just going to continue to feed more experience to the Blood Mage and the rest of the remaining units here. Goblin Tinker does have a little bit more cluster rockets to go as the Druids of the Claw are getting saved once more. That, however, will be the GG. Foggy losing after a beautiful, beautiful timing push from Sock, capitalizing on the larger army while pushing at tier 2 against Foggy's bears who were at tier 3 but hadn't really amassed the numbers yet. The resource score, overall gold being mined, was actually fairly close with only 1,200 gold difference between the two. A lot of that difference though being made up by the gold lost to upkeep. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.